Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome you at this Agri-Food Forum and to welcome your intention to talk about both green and digital ambitions of the European Union in this very critical point in its history. In many ways, the European Commission sees both green and digital as most important parts of the twin transition which will allow us to recover from the current COVID-19 crisis the best. We see the European Green Deal, and we do see the digital decade as our new economic growth strategy. We see those areas as the new economic model as well, where many of our businesses can become competitive globally and can be profitable and earn a new reputation. European Green Deal, as you very well know, is a signature policy of this Commission. President von der Leyen, already 1 year ago, on the 1st of December, when taking the post and forming her team, has announced the goal for European Union to become climate neutral by 2050. And we have already done a lot of deal in this period. We have produced the climate law, which at the moment is at the European Parliament and to be adopted, which will clarify the member states' ambitions in terms of 2030 and 2050. We have also proposed the many strategies like a biodiversity strategy, or indeed from farm to fork strategy, which is so important for the sector of agriculture. We have presented the Circular Economy Action Plan, where we really must invest so much more in terms of circular economy. We have also just introduced this autumn the new renovation wave in terms of channeling investments to make many of our buildings much more energy efficient. And there are so many more things to do in terms of the hydrogen strategy, in terms of offshore energy sources, in terms of really trying to make sure that in our economies, from transport to agriculture to industry to energy, we find all of the right solutions to make sure that we decrease the emissions and finally we become climate neutral. The good news, we're not alone. We already have Japan, South Korea, China, and hopefully the United States, when Joe Biden becomes the next president of America, joining the call and also pledging to become climate neutral by 2050. And ladies and gentlemen, if we will have 80% of the global economic players on board, we can achieve this goal. Digital transition comes together. Many things we want to achieve in terms of Green Deal, and many things we want to achieve in agriculture as well, such as precision farming, satellite-guided farming, we need to do with the help of technologies, with the help of innovation, with the help of investment in science and research. And therefore, in terms of digital as well, the European Union is aiming high. President von der Leyen has called this decade a digital decade, and she wants to invest much more in data, in infrastructure, such as supercomputers and 5G, but also in terms of technologies, such as artificial intelligence, where we want to advance, but we also want to make sure that artificial intelligence is ethical and is oriented towards humans and not vice versa. Many things lie ahead of us. And what we have also as a very important tool to help us is the next multi-annual financial framework, as well as the Recovery Fund, which was approved by the member states back in July. Even 37% of the Next Generation EU will be devoted to the Green Deal. Even 20% of this fund will have to be devoted to digital investments. So with that type of finance, I'm quite confident we will make sure to make a breakthrough and invest much more in ecological farming, much more in sustainable transport, much more in renewable energy, and much more in top-notch science and research, which will help European Union to become much more competitive globally vis-à-vis the United States, China, and other major players. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great conference today, and I hope that in your deliberations, you will also come up with many important ideas how individually and collectively we can all become more green, more digital, and yes, more resilient and more successful in the future.